We thought we might get like some sympathy listens. Yeah.
2 girls, 4 hooks.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's our next venture. If anybody is looking for a new podcast.
Oh, God.
Welcome to Canadian Politics is Boring.
Welcome to Canadian Politics is Boring. Back with us again is my good buddy Reese, and we've dragged them kicking and screaming into the studio, the Minute Women from the podcast Minute Women Podcast. We've got Grace and Linnea all the way down here from downtown Halifax. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for taking us in off the street. My wrists hurt, but thanks for dragging us all the way up here.
We'll untie you when the show's over. Yeah.
Let's see how the episode goes.
Right, yeah, that's
we'll make a decision.
If it's good, do we have to stay? Or if it's good, do we get to leave? Or do we don't get to negotiate?
We didn't think that far ahead.
But remember, Grace, like Alexis has told us off Schitt's Creek,
yes.
You just put your arms above your head and bring them down really fast.
That's how you get out of duct tape wrists.
Oh, is it?
Little
Okay.
shout out to Schitt's Creek, wonderful, amazing Canadian television show.
It is very much worth your time.
Available on all platforms or just one?
It's on
I think
Netflix,
it's
so that's
I think
all
it's
you
everywhere.
really need.
We're
right?
plugging it now.
Yeah, I was going to
We're
say.
plugging a TV show we have nothing to do with.
Eugene and Dan love
exactly.
you. Give us a call. Give us a call.
I would also like to plug.
CBC's Canadian Politics is Boring.
I'd also like to plug another TV show that's nothing to do with what we're doing. Bullseye, which is an old darts game show from the UK from the 1980s.
A darts
I
game
know.
show
Darts.
Would you like to plug a TV show that has nothing to do with what we're doing?
that we get no
The
financial
UK
benefit from.
takes darts so seriously. Like I can't even. It's like their little wives in the audience, like go baby, and he's like up there with his beer, getting ready to shoot.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Watching darts is top
I don't
notch.
think I'd ever want to watch darts.
Oh,
it's not
trust
something.
me.
It's something I barely want to do.
Oh, trust me.
My brothers
life-changing.
got my dad a dartboard for Christmas, which was like they redid their garage, so now it's like they thought we're like cute man cave gift. All of my brothers and my dad got obsessed with darts over Christmas. And so now my brothers who are in the city, they just go in a bar and they're like, do they have a dartboard? Do they have a dartboard? Is that COVID safe? Can we use the dartboard?
But
Sanitize the dart as you
That's
throw it
fun.
towards other people's faces.
Yeah.
and if you go to any pub in the UK, there is a dartboard, but also there will be darts you can borrow from behind the bar. And it's just
That's
like,
fun.
and it's like it's a sport that anyone could play, and it's like sociable, and like different
Yeah.
pubs will have teams who
I
go
am
to other pubs to play other teams.
So
It's great.
bad at it.
So
I'm
bad.
me
so
too.
bad at
So
it.
bad.
I'm not great at it either.
If you
Yeah.
like losing vision in one of your eyes, then play darts with me.
I was playing darts in the garage with some friends from back home, and one of them forgot they had, like, drunk enough that they forgot they had a dart in their hand and patted someone on the shoulder and just stabbed them.
What? How do you forget you've got a dart in your hand when you
Alcohol.
This particular
Right,
friend,
thank you.
alcohol,
Wow.
this particular
That's a good
friend
scientific
is a
explanation.
unique individual. So
Who would like to learn about some history? I know you like history.
Yay!
I'm very excited. I always go in knowing everything,
I know.
and so I'm feeling very vulnerable right now.
It's okay. I'll walk you through it, buddy. I'm right here.
Can you
I'll hold your hand.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to do with your
Here is a
hands
team.
tied with duct tape, but give it a shot.
Duct taped hands, hold hands together.
There's a podcast t-shirt. Podcasters don't need hands.
That's dark. That's
Yeah.
I got real dark real fast.
We were thinking for like a promotional stint that we both just get hooks for hands
Yeah,
because we
be
don't
great.
need them.
because
Right,
we
exactly.
thought that would be a really good way
Yeah.
to get people to listen.
We thought we might get like some sympathy listens. Yeah.
2 girls, 4 hooks.
Oh God!
Yeah, that's our next venture. If anybody is looking for a new podcast,
Oh God! The imagery.
hooks for hands.
Podcasting is all about niches, so you'll corner
Yeah.
the hook market
Yeah,
pretty
for
quick.
sure. Yeah.
Oh,
So
God.
Pirates.
We'll just hook them.
No,
Yeah,
true
exactly.
story. True story.
True story
A
about hooks for hands.
A friend of my uncle's. He was a linesman for Nova Scotia Light and Power, and he had an
Oh,
accident.
I heard you say lion man.
No, he was a linesman.
I was like, I already know where this is going.
Yeah, no, he was a linesman for Nova Scotia Light and Power,
Okay.
and he had an incident when he was up in the bucket and touched 2 wires and lost both his hands.
Oh, no.
He just watched them fall to the ground, and
I
he
feel sorry for
chose-
saying everything we
He
did.
watched
now.
his hands fall to the ground.
He sure did. I mean, I think he was in shock. It would have been a lot worse. But anyway, this is a lovely man Yes, Grace.
Me and
We
Reese
just
gagged.
hurt Jesse.
Jesse and I just gagged at the same time. Went,
I was going to give you props for gag buddies.
I don't need that on my resume.
It's the sequel to
Gag
Two
buddies.
Girls, Four Hooks.
Exactly. But he chose to have two hooks. So he had two little
That's pretty badass.
hooks, but they're like
Two little hooks, like mini hooks?
well, they're kind of cool.
Like just for
So
hanging laundry or something? Just for-
I definitely have a picture of the guy somewhere. I can try and find it.
No, thank
he
you.
recently passed away, actually.
Oh.
But
Bet you feel bad now, Jess.
yeah, but no, he was a lovely guy. Lived well into his old age. But he
Oh, this wasn't a recent thing then.
this probably happened in like the 70s.
Do you,
Okay.
know, do you know what I love is those people with 3D printers and they make like Iron Man arms for
Yeah.
kids. Be like, I don't care. I'm an adult. I would, if I had an accident, I
want
would
that
want an
for
Iron
sure.
Man arm.
Right? Same.
Fuck
Can I ask
yes.
an inappropriate question?
Yeah.
There is no
Was he
such
buried
thing
with
on
the
this
hooks?
show.
I don't know.
Or did we get to keep the hooks?
I don't know. That's an interesting question.
I
He was
think-
an excellent guitar player. He played guitar with the hooks.
That's
very well.
amazing.
So they were like, I wish I could draw it for you. It was like, so a hook, but then
Yeah.
it like came to the hook point and then looped around. So it was like two
I see.
parallel wires.
Yeah,
that,
yeah, I
like,
see what you mean.
that were like hooks. So he like could hold on to things and like
That's
whatever.
amazing.
And they came up like kind of over his wrist, like to here, like plastic. But yeah, super great guy. Nothing really seemed, just really positive. Nothing seemed to get in his way.
It always blows my mind when people go through that and then they're able to like paint a masterpiece with their feet and all these kind of
Yeah.
crazy stuff that people can do. It's just mind blowing.
but
It's
he was
mind-blowing. I
he was
feel
a
useless.
Very good musician, I know, right?
I'm pretty shit with hands, so like,
Yeah, I also used to. So weird. I used to babysit a girl who only had one arm. Now she was born with one
They're
arm.
going to say hooks for hands again.
No,
It's like-
she doesn't have hooks in her hands. She has a prosthetic. She's actually, if you've ever seen the Canadian War Amps commercials, they're like getting old, but she's like one of the little girls in the pool who they like at the end they like smile.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, her name's Bromlin. And she's a pharmacist now. She's all grown up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
on CBBS, the kids TV channel in BBC Kids TV channel in the UK.
Yeah.
there was a woman and she only had like her forearm.
Oh, yeah.
Not her forearm, the upper part of her arm, not just a
I was
hovering
gonna,
forearm.
I was going to say, she only had a forearm, not her bicep.
And the BBC were like, well, we need people who look different and have,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
kids, and the amount of complaints they had
Oh,
from
that's so
parents.
stupid.
And they were like, they were like, no, she's staying. You just need to
Good.
teach your kids
And
about.
see, that's the thing. Babysitting Bromlin, she was the one who told me we'd like go to the park or whatever, and she'd say, you know, she's like, kids don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Like she's like 7 years old, and she's like, kids.
Children will never.
Kids
It's
are
the
like,
adults.
No,
Yeah,
but
it's
no,
taught.
kids ask, and they say, "What happened to your arm?" And she says, "I was born without it." And they say, "Okay, want to
Cool.
go play in
Yeah.
the sandbox?"
Yeah.
And she's
Right.
like, "That's fine." She's like, "It's parents who are like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That's so sad."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she, I mean, it's how she was born. They knew before she was born. The family had a lot of time to kind of like understand and like
Yeah, yeah,
adapt
yeah.
with this and grow. And like I said, she's been nothing but successful. So yeah.
That's amazing.
To close out our conversation maybe on lack of limbs, you can listen to a Minute Women episode
yeah.
where we talk about an amazing Canadian who happened to only have one arm.
We do.
And he lost his arm in a fire.
Yes,
John Peter Humphreys.
And that is he was the person who wrote the United Nations.
He drafted
He
the
drafted
United-
the proposal.
Yeah, it was like a particular bill of the United Nations.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's human rights.
It's
wow.
the Human
The-
Rights Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he lost his arm, but it's so interesting because in the entire Heritage Minute they never say that once.
Yeah, like in all
Sorry.
of his famous photos, you
That's
can
awesome.
see
Yeah.
there's like
Wow.
a sleeve
But I
of his
don't know
jacket
if it
that's kind of
is-
like pinned up and stuff.
I don't know if
Oh,
it is
wow.
because in the Heritage Minute it looks like he has two.
So was it less the?
I think it's less the like, oh, this is like
that's just
normal.
him. We don't need to talk about
They're
it.
like,
It was like let's
we're not talking about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if it was like kind of like the mode for the time would have been to the most equal thing you can do is just not acknowledge it and accept the fact
Right.
that like the most amazing thing he did was like the work that he did, which I
Yeah.
can respect.
Which is fair.
But it is just I was just like researching it. I was like, wait.
It's like dude only has one
How do
arm.
I only know that he has only like one arm?
Just a floating head in a glass jar. Yeah.
I've got a question for you.
Hold on. I think we need to do a promo for. So coming next March, Hooks for Hands, the new podcast by Renee and Grace.
Two girls, four hooks.
Two girls for right,
girls,
sorry.
four hooks.
Okay, yeah, that's much better than Hooks for Hands, yeah.
Yeah. When these handcuffs get so tight that we inevitably have to cut our hands off to escape.
Chew them off.
The zip ties are real tight right now.
It hurts. It hurts.
This is really sending the wrong message about how you treat women.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's fine. Everything's fine.
How dare you get us to apologize?
Yeah.
For you handcuffing us.
How dare you?
Being gaslit by Canadian politics is boring is not how I expected to spend my Thursday.
This is how we recruit guests on our show.
That's true.
Have you ever heard of Brother 12?
No.
Please tell me you haven't.
No.
I have not.
I have no idea what that is.
I knew this would be a good one.
Brother 12.
Brother 12. And this
Like
is,
Brother, Where Art Thou? Like a little George Clooney? Like,
Imagine.
I love that movie.
Imagine.
It's so good.
Kind of, but if George Clooney started a cult.
oh, nice.
I love
We
cults.
love cults.
Okay, well, if we
that's
ever
why you
start
do
one,
it.
join our
ours.
first
Any Netflix
members.
documentary about a serial killer or a cult, I've watched it.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right.
the Brother 12 wasn't his parents didn't name him Brother 12. Like there weren't 11 brothers before him.
It's awkward
just
because he
got
was
really-
the third child.
We're allowed to swear, right?
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. I just had to confirm. I
to
had
make
to
sure.
remember.
Like-
I was going to be like, fuck me up with a what's this word called podcast?
Canadian
But,
politics.
with a cult, like, but and then I was like, oh no, I can't swear, and then I like had a
Don't
moment.
filter yourself.
Okay.
don't.
No,
Don't
God,
Alright,
no. Like you saying, can we swear? And you saying, can I say something super inappropriate? We're like, yes.
Of course. This is a safe space.
That's what podcasting's for.
Yeah, this is a safe space. All right,
Safe space
except
for
for
the
the
worst
handcuffs.
parts of humanity. Yeah.
I'm gradually being convinced that this is a safe space.
Yeah.
This is the place I want to be, and I think I want to get married.
Kool-Aid.
It's not just about a cult; it is
It's
a
a
cult.
cult.
Exactly, yeah. This
This
is
is such a meta
yeah,
episode.
we just make fun of another cult to get you to relax to the idea of a cult. So,
All right, Brother 12.
Brother 12 was born Edward Arthur Wilson on the 25th of July, 1878.
Okay.
So he's an old cult. So he was born in Birmingham,
1878?
1878.
Okay.
It's a long time ago. At least like more than 5 years ago.
It's hard to imagine how you start a cult without like television.
Yeah,
You know?
or like
Like,
propaganda
how do you
material.
mark it?
That's a great question, Grace. So,
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
you just
1800s, 1870, and in Canada.
Well, he's
How
in
the
fuck-
Birmingham right now.
He's in
Oh,
Birmingham right now.
Which
Yeah.
Tommy Shelby, Peaky Blinders. I'm a fucking Shelby. That's what they say.
No, that's a great question. Let's brainstorm that. How the fuck do you get people
do
into
you want me
your
to just
cult?
tell you the story?
Yeah,
Or do
I
you know
guess
it's-
you could just tell us.
Hitler did it with
tradition-
I guess
Well,
Hitler. But Hitler had a lot of propaganda and a lot of guns.
All right.
But also look at the Manson family. They lived in an isolated...
Hitler did.
You
True.
take a bunch of people, you remove them from everybody else in
Yeah,
an isolated
that's true.
compound.
Right.
And then they rely on you. And
So
you,
kidnapping.
remember that Simpsons episode where they join a cult?
Yes.
There's
With the
32
leader
years
beings.
of Simpsons.
Oh,
No,
if you want to understand cults better, watch that Simpsons episode.
If you want to
my
understand
advice.
life better, watch the Simpsons
Yeah, yeah.
episode.
If you want to know
I
what's
love
going to
The
happen in the
Simpsons.
future, watch The Simpsons.
Yeah.
He was born...
So let's just assume that he handed out pamphlets.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
yeah.
right
Yeah,
now he's
sure.
a baby in
Yeah.
Birmingham.
Well, and
a
exa-
Birmingham baby.
a Birmingham
Handing out
baby
pamphlets,
in
yeah.
a religious family, and he claimed in
good
his
start.
childhood he was visited by angels. Which,
Nice start.
There you go.
which is, I used to dream there were wolves under my bed, but it's not something I want on my
Nice
Wikipedia.
wolves?
No, they were horrible.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to kill me.
Okay.
Luckily, they never succeeded. I always outwitted them.
Oh, good, good.
Oh, good.
Those imaginary wolves.
Thank God.
Every morning you wake up and you're like, not this time.
Yeah. Scoop up the wolf poop. I can go. I won again. Why is Reese so tired?
Just wake up every morning like covered in blood.
It happened again.
Like The Grey. Is that the film with Liam
Oh,
Neeson?
yes. The most happiest movie in the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
That's
like
a lie.
every night in my bedroom as a child was like that film
Jesus Christ, Reese.
with imaginary
In
wolves.
Wales.
In
All
Wales.
those are there wolves in
No,
Wales?
there's no wolves.
I was gonna say, I was like, I don't think there's a lot of native
The largest
wolves.
predator is a fox, I think.
Wales is
And
such
foxes are tiny.
a fun place.
It is fun.
I'd love to go.
It's like
Let's go to Wales.
tons of castles, loads of castles.
Does everybody still love Princess Diana?
What do you know? What she like? That's the thing with the whole Prince of Wales and Princess of Wales.
Yeah.
What happened was that was originally started as a way to mock Wales because there were princes in Wales that were a separate royal family, and they were all killed by the English.
Okay.
And they started calling them the Prince of Wales as a way to mock, and it kind of stuck, and people forgot.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, Henry the Seventh went a long way to being like, at least he's Welsh.
Yeah.
He's king.
Exactly.
Yep.
So he's in a religious household.
He was in a religious. So he studied from a young age. He studied the world's religions, preparing himself, and this is his own words, for a destiny that was revealed to him in a vision in the south of France in autumn 1924. So
24 hits of acid. He
I
did
couldn't,
that.
I couldn't find much information about his
Opium.
life. Up
I
to that
imagine
point.
him. He's
Lots of
like
opium.
3 years old saying that. He's
Exactly.
like, I've seen a vision in the south of France. The angels are visiting me, and I have a destiny.
He's a very well-spoken 3-year-old. Just
Yeah.
It's not like, that's right. Smoke
Yeah.
your ciggy. Get ready for
Anyways.
school.
Smoking cigarettes and going to school at the age of 3.
Have you got your British Welsh?
If you can see the angels, you're old enough to go to school.
Sorry for our horrific accents.
Yeah.
I was going to say I was going to be polite and let you think
It's
they were
not
good.
good.
but
No,
It's
we know
not
they're
good.
awful. It's a bit.
We know they're bad. It's a bit. Yeah, we know they're bad.
So he was touring the world as a mariner. That's how he ended up in the south of
Oh,
France.
okay.
So
A what?
A mariner.
what's a mariner?
Sailing.
Like a sailor.
Oh, not someone who marinates. Okay.
No, that wasn't. I don't
Yeah.
think that's a job. I think it's part of a job if you're a chef. I don't think I need my marinator.
He'd be like, so
Where's
it's
the
like,
mariner?
Yeah, if you're not like Navy, if you're not doing it for like the
Yeah.
crown or your country, you're just like a merchant marine. So like not a Navy marine, you're like a merchant mariner. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just trade. And he ended up he visited Canada in 1905. He liked the cut of Canada's jib. So
We do have nice jibs.
we do.
Oh my god! All
And
the
they cut nicely,
pictures
too.
of the Blue Nose coming up here was like trauma for me.
The what?
Linnea used to work on the
I
Blue
used
Nose.
to sail on the Blue Nose,
Yeah.
and it's like 18 pictures of the Blue Nose, and I was like,
I gotta
it's there,
ex-
it's there. Oh my god, where am I going?
I was we're on the 3rd floor of the building and all the way up this historical images of ships.
It's mostly the Blue Nose.
The Blue Nose. Yeah.
Yep.
The
She's there.
infamous.
She's turning 100 this
The
year.
infamous-
No,
the
seriously?
100th year of the Blue
Yeah.
Nose.
Blue Nose 1 or 2?
Blue Nose 1 of like the Blue Nose as
Yeah,
like a
that Blue Nose is
Okay.
at the bottom of the,
Yeah,
the
Haiti.
ocean
Right.
somewhere.
Haiti.
This is the replica. Blue
Yeah.
Nose.
This is the replica.
For people who don't know, the Blue Nose is a famous ship.
Yeah,
It was the
so-
first ship that could also fly, and it was built in Nova Scotia.
Yep.
Is that right?
Lasers,
And
that's
it's
correct.
painted
Yeah.
blue.
About
painted
that,
blue.
we
Yeah.
would tell people anything.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's
false.
on the dime.
It was way ahead
It's
of
on
its
the
time.
dime, but there is a heritage minute about the Blue Nose, so we
Yeah.
will cover. We will be
Oh,
covering
that's right, there is too,
her and her captain Amos Walter's story.
Someday.
Angus Walter's story. Amos Stevens built her.
Well, the favorite thing that you've ever told me about the Blue Nose, which you told me very recently, is its original mast, like the original of the original Blue Nose,
Yeah.
is that mast that's out in front of Lower Deck.
Yeah.
Which is like a scummy little pub here in Halifax.
So there's a big mast. Like people like take pictures and are drunk by it. You don't even really notice it's a
No, I'm
mast.
trying to think of what it. I'm trying to.
It's like a 138 feet tall thing that's just down there
It
chilling.
has flags on it, right? Something?
Maybe. I
Lights,
don't know.
anyways.
Yeah.
But
Masts.
people have no idea. Like,
People have no idea, but
I
that's
had
where
no
they
idea.
put
I had no
it.
idea.
They just put it down there because it's like historic properties, and that's where the Blue Nose. So the Blue Nose was built in Lunenburg, but then when they started using it in the modern day as like a tour sailing vessel, as Canada's sailing ambassador, the home port was actually Halifax.
So it was
Yeah.
a party boat.
it's the original booze
So
cruise.
originally, yeah, it was built by the Olens family. And they did it to promote schooner beer.
Nice.
The replica. The
So that the replica was built. So the
yeah.
original Blue Nose, the original Blue Nose, she sang.
It's so stupid.
But then Olens family was like, oh yeah, we have a shit ton of money. And they're
That's a
like,
genius
you know
marketing
what we
strategy.
should do
It is,
with a
yeah.
shit ton of money? We should make a fucking beer that's kind of shitty. And you know what we're going to do to promote that shitty fucking beer?
Make a whole boat.
We're going to make a boat and we're going to take people on it and let them drink on it. And so they
kinda
did that.
brilliant,
They did
actually.
it. And
Yep.
they did it for like the promotional phase. And then they ended up selling it to, I guess, to the province. Yeah, to the province of Nova Scotia for $1 in the form of 10 dimes, which was like super cute because the balloonist is on the dime.
Hilarious.
So they're like,
Right.
oh, it was so funny. I don't know why they're British all of a sudden or whatever that was, but they are.
I want to sell you my boat.
Yeah.
For anyone listening who has not listened to Minute Women podcast, this level of tangent is prevalent on ours. So
Yeah,
if you
you're
want
so
something more
sorry.
streamlined,
I just-
our podcast might not be
It's
I just
not
want,
for
I
you.
want to warn our audience there's a danger you might learn something that has been researched properly.
Yeah.
So let's go back to my notes.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Let's go back to
Let's
what's
find
his
out.
name? King 12? The 12th
King,
pin?
Brother
Brother
King 12. Yeah. Well, we're going with King
Brother
12 now. That's
Edward.
what it is. Yeah.
Edward right now.
Eddie in Birmingham.
And he's in the
So,
south of France as
Eddie
a
Bro
mariner.
12.
Oh, he's in, yeah.
So Bro 12 was living on the west coast of Canada.
Oh, okay, right. He's in Canada now.
And having seen the world and learned so much about religion, he's
After being a marinator.
After
while,
after sailing the world, adding
Marinating.
flavour to meat overnight. He ended up, but also he started basically. He was spiritualism was a big thing at the time. He was very deep.
Okay.
He was the dude at the party who everyone was like, "Well, who's that?" He looks very deep.
He's woke.
He's
woke the first time, yeah.
Quoting philosophy and religion and everything. So
Yeah.
he started.
He would have a YouTube channel today
100%.
making like woke videos if
Exactly.
that was a possibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he became an influencer.
Yeah, he's an influencer.
He's an
Thank
influencer
you.
at that time.
Nice.
So he attracted a following of wealthy and socially prominent individuals who just thought he was cool to have at parties talking about deep stuff.
That's who you
Wow.
need. You need those rich idiots.
Yeah.
So, including a Chicago lumber baron, a novelist and writer for the Saturday Evening Post, a publisher from Ohio, and several famous astrologers.
The publisher
Several
from
famous
Ohio,
astrologers.
the publisher
Famous
from Ohio
astrologers.
did it in the kitchen with the broomstick. Like, who are these people?
And one of his most devoted followers was a wealthy socialite from North Carolina called Mary Wortham Thomas Connolly. She's actually got
Say
four
that
names.
again?
Mary Wortham Thomas Connolly. She's got four names. That's how
yeah,
rich
no
she is.
kidding.
3
I know.
husbands,
Yeah.
all murdered.
Whose ancestors arrived on the Mayflower.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Me too.
Really?
Did you?
No.
Oh.
I love that it sounded like you came over on the Mayflower. You're like, yeah, me too.
I was
You
on
are old.
It's one of those things where people are like, yeah, my ancestors like came over on the Mayflower, and like that person who always has to one up, they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was on the Mayflower.
I built the motherfucking Mayflower. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm actually a vampire.
I'm descended from the rats that were aboard
I was the
Mayflower.
marinator on the Mayflower. Okay.
with hooks for hands because I'm a real pirate. Arr. What's a pirate's favorite letter?
Arr.
No, the sea.
Oh.
I preferred R. I'm sorry. So the sorry, I'm just moving this thing here. So also he had a so this woman, Mary Wortham Thomas Connolly, basically she wrote him a check for $23,000 in 1928 after a 3-hour meeting with him in Toronto. She was so impressed
That's
by
some
Wow.
good sex.
by how
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
How much money is that today? Do you know?
Millions and billions. We had this problem with another
Millions and
episode.
billions.
Millions
I couldn't work it out a lot.
You guys should start a financial advice podcast. It's called Millions and Billions.
Millions and billions.
There's
Jesse and Reese.
There's an amazing commercial that whenever I'm watching football or anything, it's usually on DAZN, and DAZN has this limited commercial run, so you see the same 5
Over
commercials
and
over and
over
over
Oh,
again.
that's so
over.
annoying.
And there's one
Jesus.
that's basically do you need cash now kind of thing, like a payday loan. But it's do you need $25,000, $50,000, or $1.5 million? It just sounds like those are your 3 options.
Yeah.
It's
Press
25,000,
A for this
50,000,
one. Press
or
B.
$1.5 million.
Jesus.
Such a jump.
But then
Is
in a
this-
month,
Yeah.
DAZN will never show that commercial again. So you only
Yeah.
get a month of listening to it consistently, and then it's new contract
But I'll remember that commercial forever.
forever.
Don't know the company.
Have you got any,
No.
any stock tips for our listeners? My advice is
And millions and billions.
Millions and billions.
With Reese and Jesse.
tomorrow I would buy stocks in companies that have I don't know, blue logos.
And the letter
My
Q
tip.
in their name.
And the letter Q in their name. That's my tip.
I thought you were going to say, look on the East Coast, maybe like a media production company, like podcasting, maybe. Like that might be something you want to buy stock in.
No, it's a private company. So.
Just write blank checks
Yeah,
to
exactly. Just send us
Yeah,
your
we
money.
take blank checks. The Minute Women podcast, we take them. We take them
accept
blank.
blank checks.
Talking about blank checks. Or not blank checks. Checks that aren't blank, but with ridiculous amounts of money that are given to someone for
Millions
no
and
reason.
billions.
Millions and
Millions and
billions.
millions of dollars. yeah.
Another
What did she? So hold on. What did she give him money for?
because she was impressed by to
he's
support him.
just holding a party.
He was
Come to my
just
party. This is a great party. Here's a check of $25,000.
he wasn't
like, "You're going
He
somewhere."
wasn't rich, but like rich people would give money to people they wanted to hang out with. I guess.
Yeah.
I need to become friends with rich people.
Just hang out
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
I had a really fun 3 hours with you. Here's $25,000 or whatever. It's,
That just sounds fun.
doesn't
Just
sound like a
yeah.
friendship though.
Sounds
Sounds like,
no, but I'll be okay with that.
I'll be your friend for $23,000.
Yeah.
I'll whore myself out.
Yeah, I do a lot of things for that much money.
Have you ever heard of Roger Painter, the poultry king of Florida?
No.
Oh God,
So,
that's amazing.
what's his name?
The poultry king of Florida. So I guess he had a
Roger
lot of
Painter.
Wow.
He had a lot of chicken farms, I guess. But he regularly gave Brother 12.
Hold on, you don't know why he's called the Poultry King? You're just assuming. So
I'm
it
guessing.
might not be a poultry farm.
Maybe he actually is
Maybe he actually is the king of the
monarch
chickens.
the monarch of a small nation of birds.
That's what I'm going to assume it is. That sounds
Roger Painter.
Yeah.
I'm going to Google it.
No. It's just you're going to
that's-
ruin it. 'cause
Roger Painter and Co. Property management company based in London.
That's
That's
not.
the first
That's
name.
not the king of the
Anyway,
chickens.
anyway,
That's-
so
can
he
we
were-
call him the king of the chickens instead of the poultry king?
The poultry king, aka the king of the chickens,
Yeah.
aka the emperor of feathers.
I like that.
I liked that.
Cock of the walk.
Top cock.
Top
Top
cock.
cock.
Roger Painter.
So he used to send Brother 12 checks for $5,000 and $10,000. I don't know whether that was sometimes 5, sometimes 10, or 2 checks for $15,000.
I love that.
But
Kind of like your grandmother giving you a $5 bill and a $10 bill in the same card together because she's too cheap to give you a $20 bill.
I
It's nice.
had an auntie who used to send us pound coins, sellotaped to the inside of the card.
I would
So
get
you
a
know
taped
exactly.
toonie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside of,
too.
a
I know,
taped
but-
toonie from my great
You're going
grandmother.
to be able to know exactly, this someone's put money in this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I can feel it.
I can feel the weight.
Is
You,
it?
you remember like getting a card and like you know you have to read it. There's a message inside, right?
Yeah.
And you're like the only thing you're wondering is there money in this? Right?
Yeah.
Like that's it.
Yeah.
You're just like, but you're like, and you have to play it so coy,
So
right?
coy.
Because like there might be a present too, or something, and maybe there isn't. But it's like you've got to read the message. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna open this, and if there's money, don't freak out. Just don't
freak
here we
out.
go.
Don't freak out. Keep it cool.
Also, holy fuck, there's $40. Oh, that's not. You just kind of calmly put the money aside, and you read the poem
Yeah,
that's badly spelled. And
100%.
like, oh, thank you so, and thank you for this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a really great TikTok about that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's a kid who like opens it and he's just like, and like it's just a cascade of money falling out of the card. He's just like, oh, thank you, Gran. I love it. Oh, and what's this? Oh, thank you. You didn't have to. Yeah.
I got my nephew's birthday is this week, and I got him a card with some money in it because that's what I was there. I'm like, what do I get him? It's so like I don't know what to get him. They're like, get him money. He wants money.
How old is he?
I think he's turning 11.
Yeah.
they want
he's like,
My
he wants
sister,
money.
this was the first year that like she was like, oh, like some money would be cool. And we were like, oh.
But like I got him a funny card and I wrote something funny in it, and then I put the dollar bill. I put the
A dollar
No,
bill?
not a dollar bill. I put some money because they don't
Psych
exist
kid,
anymore.
it's money you can't even use.
Right,
He got a $5 bill and cut it into fifth.
This is going to be really fun when the border finally opens. You can spend your birthday
I was
money.
just thinking, I put the money in the card. I'm like, he is not going to read this card whatsoever.
That's okay. He'll be like we just discussed.
Yeah,
Kids know
exactly.
how to act.
Yeah, that's true.
They do.
Be like, thank you, Uncle Jesse. Thank you. Oh, what is
What is this? Oh,
Thank you.
Monetary love.
So that's Brother 12 like every day of the week.
Exactly, yeah. Just getting nice
he's
thank you
like,
for bringing
oh,
us back,
thank you
Grace.
for this.
Thank you. Yeah.
She knows
you
what
for
she's
this
doing.
money.
It's all right.
So Brother 12 then established, he finally took the name Brother 12.
Why? Where
'cause
did
why
it come
not?
from?
Yeah, what's the reason
Yeah,
for
what's the-
Brother 12?
He's
Yeah,
your
because
brother
essentially-
24/7, 12 months of the year.
Exactly.
He's there for you.
Exactly.
He's a late night radio DJ. That's how you start a call before TV.
Yep.
So
It's midnight here in Where is he from?
He's all over Canada.
He's mainly in Vancouver at the moment, I think.
Oh, okay.
Midnight here in the late night of Vancouver. It's Brother 12 bringing you some hip-hop and R&B to soothe your soul. Brother 12 coming at you.
Sponsored by Spellgate Toothpaste.
So, do you know like what his philosophy is that he's spouting right now?
Get money from rich people.
He established the Aquarian Foundation in 1927.
Like astrology, Aquarius kind of thing?
I was thinking like equestrian.
Yeah, not that.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
That's horses and stuff.
Yeah.
I think this is like...
I know.
I don't want to be too technical for it.
This horses and
That's
stuff.
a great name for a farm.
Horses and stuff.
Horses and stuff.
Things.
Hey there, it's horses and stuff.
Things on my farm would be called things covered in shit. So the groups
We're coming up with some gold names for future podcasts. Just saying, things covered in shit.
Things covered in shit.
Horses
there's
and
a
stuff.
horse girl market out there.
There is.
Horses and
There is.
stuff would do very
People
well.
love horses.
Horse
Yeah.
girls.
I don't. They're my mortal enemy. Anyway,
I thought wolves were.
no, they were just.
You and wolves
Confident
came
wolves.
to an
Yeah.
understanding.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, Grace.
The wolves you earn the wolves' respect over
Yeah.
time.
Exactly, yeah.
When you reach 18 and you moved out of your parents' house and they hadn't killed you yet, they were just like, he's one of us.
I don't know if you know this, but once you kill 1,000 wolves with your bare hands, they don't ever hunt you again. They learn.
They
So
learn.
it's
You've
like-
reached the top of the chain
yeah,
at
really.
that point.
You go camping
Yeah.
in the woods and you see a wolf and they're like, respect, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're like,
It's like the Bloods and Crips.
is that
Yeah.
it?
Just like-
Yeah, exactly.
Wear your colors.
yeah.
So the group's beliefs were largely based on the I can't even say it. Theosophical Society.
There you go.
Okay.
I got it out. So the three objectives of that society are, number one, to form a nucleus of the universal brotherhood of humanity without distinction of race, creed, sex, caste, or colour. Two, to encourage the study of comparative religion, philosophy, and science. And three, to investigate the unexplained laws of nature and the powers latent in man.
I knew this was going to get weird.
That's so
Like, the
vague.
first two
that could
are
be
like-
literally
yeah.
anything.
I know.
Yeah, like,
Exactly.
The first two were like, okay, I
The
can
first
get
one is
behind that,
to
yeah.
form nucleus of the universal brotherhood of humanity without distinction of race, creed, sex, caste, or colour. Basically, get on with each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Number two, encourage the study of comparative religion, philosophy, and science. Read stuff.
Just keep it in mind, yeah.
Read things.
Read things and don't be racist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And number three, to investigate the unexplained laws of nature and powers in latent man. Keep it in mind.
Yeah, that's just like science or religion,
Yeah,
depending on how you
it's just
approach that
like-
question.
Yeah.
Thanks for reaching the middle of the episode. You know what that means. It's time for a special announcement. Sit back, relax, have some sherry, put on your robe, smoke a pipe, sit in your favorite reading chair, and get ready for glorious audio bliss.
Anyway, but let's start a cult based on those things.
Cool.
So he published two booklets. One was called...
I'm taking notes, by the way.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right,
Exactly.
keep it vague.
The Three Truths and Foundation Letters and Teachings, which explained his ideas and encouraged readers to donate money to his cause and to build homes in the colony of Cedar by the Sea, with which he was setting up on Vancouver Island in British Columbia. Is it in Nanaimo? I can never say it right.
Nanaimo.
Where the bars come from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're
that's
not that
exactly
good.
right.
There we go.
Grace doesn't
Nanaimo
like
bars are
them.
the most overrated Canadian
I
thing.
completely agree with you.
They're so fine.
I love a good
They're
Nanaimo
fine.
bar.
They're fine.
But they're not
okay.
like butter tarts. Butter tarts are the unspoken Canadian
See-
Is that
delicacy.
a Canadian delicacy?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're Canadian.
They used to be
We
at
did
Tim
this in a
Hortons.
Well Fuck Ack episode. You
Yeah.
didn't remember this?
Butter tarts.
Butter tarts.
I do
Yeah,
not
I mean,
remember
like,
those.
Christmas
Butter-
delicacy.
Like,
Oh, okay. If it wasn't like an entire Wafuckak episode dedicated to butter tarts. then-
No, that would be insane.
Yeah. That was,
like I think like pecan pie, which is very similar, is
Yeah.
like an American thing, but I
Right.
don't think they're ever like, but what if we just took out the nuts? People aren't here for the nuts.
Exactly.
I didn't know. That's cool. Okay. Well, shit.
It's like raisin bread, like cinnamon raisin bread.
But if you put raisins in butter tarts, like, come on, stop
stop.
fooling yourself and ruining it.
Stop it.
I have an issue with raisins.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's like
Okay.
carrot cake.
They
too.
just never make anything better.
No.
So why are we putting
They're
them
like,
in
but they're
things?
dead grapes. It's like you eat fresh
They're
fruit.
dead
Like,
grapes.
why do you want to eat
Well, if-
dead fruit?
Right, grapes
it
are
lasts
better than
longer.
raisins.
Yeah, 100%.
But we don't live in a time where we have to worry about grape spoilage anymore.
Exactly.
Grape
So,
spoilage.
like,
But
Yeah.
grape
it.
bran is just not that great. It's mushy. It gets squishy in your teeth.
No
It's
one
like,
wants that.
No.
Grape
See,
bran? No,
two
raisin bran's
scoops.
way better. 2 scoops of grapes in every box of grape bran? No, that's just rolls off the tongue. tongue.
Grape nuts, not grapes.
Yeah, grape
Grape
nut
nut ice cream. It's just like granola.
Is that what
It's my
grape nuts are?
grandfather's
That's what
favorite.
grape nut is.
Grape
Yeah.
nuts is just granola.
It's
That's
just like
it?
granola.
I didn't know
Yeah.
what grape nuts
It's my
were.
grandfather's
It's
favorite
like
ice cream.
such the maritime
Also-
mentality of like, we made a thing and we like put a bunch of oats and sugar and mashed it together. Everywhere else in the world they call it like it's like muslin or
Yeah, muesli.
muesli
Oh, yeah,
or
I know muesli.
granola.
Yeah, but here
Grape nuts.
grape nuts.
I thought
Yeah.
I thought they were like some kind of grape or nut.
There's
they're
neither
not.
of them. It's just it's literally just like a
Grape
cereal.
and or slash
It's
nut.
like cereal. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Wow.
Anyways, sorry.
No, it's fine. So Brother 12 was building a
Reese is so desperately trying to educate
I
us
know.
on stuff, and we just
I'm
want to talk
sorry.
about
He's
ice
doing
cream.
great.
you and your grape nuts.
I'm living for this.
That's kind of like, so my nickname back home is Grape.
Yeah.
And my last name is McNutt. So in many ways,
Grape McNut.
Grape Nut.
Why?
Grape
Why is
nut.
your nickname Grape?
Grace.
It's
grape.
one letter off from Grace.
Kids are
It's
stupid.
not that.
That's
It's
why.
innovative.
Kids are stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
But in
It
the
is,
friend
yeah.
group, it's always Grape.
So Brother 12 was trying to build a self-sufficient community.
Nice.
Like I said, you take people, you isolate them.
Yeah.
That's how you build a cult.
So far, I don't think this dude's so bad.
Vague.
Yeah.
Isolate people.
Just wait, it's going to get a lot worse.
Okay, I'm ready. It
so-
always does.
okay.
I'm excited.
So, and the foundation acquired additional property on nearby islands, the Valdez and De Courcy Islands, largely through the wealthy donations of Mary Connolly, the woman from North Carolina, who was
Amazing.
donating tons of money.
Nice.
And
Slave money.
up till that point, exactly. Up till that point, a lot of people kind of like
What?
they looked up to him, but then he took it.
You know
Now-
it's true, Jesse.
exactly. All of these rich people had money buried in immoral origins, I imagine. and
Oh,
stuff.
of
Yeah.
course.
Of course.
The
Every
econ-
rich person
the
ever
economy was
does.
based on it. Exactly.
No
exactly.
wealth was ever garnered through being ethical and nice.
That new money.
No, Amazon is new money, and that's
Yeah,
like the
that's true.
worst.
Yeah,
They
true.
are the new like
People piss in bottles because they can't take time off for a break.
Yeah.
That does happen.
No, exactly.
Seriously?
That sounds like
Yeah.
slavery to me.
At the end of the shift, there's bottles of piss like on the door on the way out, where they time them walking around in between picking up parcels to put them on the trolley. It's like an old, imagine like the future where there's like shock collars and you have to do labor, and they almost like track people like by the second remotely in the warehouse to know where you are. So if you stop for a break, you get like they penalize you.
I want to go and get a job there now, just to get fired in like the most
I think
grandiose
it's just because I
way.
like pissing in bottles.
Yeah.
you can do that without working for Amazon. Trust me.
Pissing in bottles.
Exactly.
Podcast.
Exactly. So everything was great. All these rich people loved him, were giving him money. But once he set up his colony, he took a weird turn.
It's called.
A weird turn.
He
All
started,
right.
started to believe his own hype.
Oh yeah.
And
Convince yourself.
Exactly.
It's the secret.
Yeah, we're trying really hard not to believe our own hype on our podcast every day. We're like, you guys, you suck. And then we'd like
Is
record
that, is
the
that
episode.
how you guys psych yourselves into recording each episode? Is
Yeah,
by
it's one
pointing
or
and telling
the
each other
other.
you suck? Is
It's
that,
one or the other.
Either we
That's
go
true.
in and we're like, it's usually like we were out the night before and we naively booked a 10 a.m. like
oh, wow.
recording
Why
on a
would
Sunday.
you ever do that? Ever? What do you-
Naivete, my friend.
Naivete.
Naivete.
Going in and we're like,
Let's go for drinks, it'll be fine.
it'll be fine. And then, or it's the flip where we're like, we are the most beautiful,
Yeah.
intelligent women we've ever met.
Have you met anyone more beautiful or smart than us, Grace?
Who could take us?
No one.
Who could take us?
No one.
Seriously.
Why don't you record that on your podcast episodes?
I think we
before
might
each
have.
intro?
There is recording of it. I think it just gets cut because Mark
Mark
just
always
can't.
cuts it.
Mark's
We'll,
just like,
we'll leave it in this one. Don't worry.
Thank you.
So an insurrection developed within the ranks of the colony.
oh shit.
Because Brother 12,
Well, what was happening during the day-to-day? Like,
they were just living together, growing vegetables, probably acting out plays they'd written themselves.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you do?
And they're
what do you
fighting
do-
now.
What do you do in those days in a colony?
You
that's
know,
isolated?
campfire sing songs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Does 12 ever get explained? Like,
No,
or that's
I
just a
couldn't find
cool
it.
number.
It's just a number he chose. Yeah.
It's a cool number.
it's his
Sounds
DJ
good.
name, right?
So basically, an insurrection happened. Everyone got pissed off because
Alright.
he claimed he was the reincarnation of the Egyptian god Osiris.
Oh, there
you go. There we go.
And there it is.
There it is.
Go left field.
And then when everyone got pissed off because they were like, "You've taken this too far, Brother 12." I mean, Brother 12 was taking it pretty far, but so he replied he'd been speaking figuratively, and that Osiris and Isis were male and female principles in nature. So he kind of backtracked a bit.
All right, but that's still saying he's like I assume the epitome of manhood in the
Yeah.
world. Like, he's
yeah.
saying, like, that guy was, like, the ultimate male figure, and I'm saying that I'm the ultimate male figure, not that I'm actually the deity.
Yeah, I'm channeling
Yeah.
him, or
Right.
you know, I'm just,
Okay.
I'm just
Right.
like,
I'm
Right.
vibing
I'm a bit
off
like it.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah, mask for mask.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what he'd done was really ingrained the idea that that gold was an important metaphor in their beliefs.
Gold!
So, which is amazing. So he said, "I've got
Like the color.
Such an old-timey villain scheme. Gold!
gold." Exactly. So only the gold of pure and unselfish devotion will pass the test. And the first requirement for admittance to his colony was the surrender of personal possessions.
Oh, nice.
Not
Yep.
into his
Yep.
chest.
So, the guru insisted that those seeking to join his group convert their assets into gold, for he believed that only gold would retain its value when the stock market crashed and banks failed. I
mean,
don't know why
there's
that
some-
mattered on the colony.
There's
but-
kind of some truth to that, a little bit.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's wrong, but
Right.
I'm not saying what he's doing is right.
So,
so then he was. So people were moving there. They were selling their assets off. They were giving him gold because that was
Okay.
important. They were getting uncomfortable because he was claiming he was a reincarnated Egyptian god, which is, you know, that can kill a room. That'll kill a room. In my experience.
Weird.
from your experience, yeah.
my experience.
When I walked into the studio today, Reese was just like, "Hi, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ,
I am Thor.
Odin."
Odin. So
He's got an eye patch on for some reason. It's just like, ugh.
Roger Painter, the poultry king of Canada,
Oh, yeah.
aka Top Cock,
Top Cock.
Yeah.
was summoned to the colony
I want a
in.
Top Gun like porn parody. It's Top Cock.
There 100% is
Or-
one.
There's already
There's gotta
it's a
be.
gay porn, and it's probably
100%.
exists out there in the world.
Top
like
cock
a
and
Top Gun.
goose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Here we go.
Goose.
Oh my god.
Goose. Goose. You just change the inflection of that a little bit.
Goose. Sorry to everybody.
No,
This is-
I'm just trying to envision what this porn would be
So
like.
were we. That's
It's
what
in a
that
plane.
was.
It's in a plane.
It's in a plane.
Yeah, while they're flying the plane.
Of course.
So when Top Cock arrived at the colony
Yeah.
in 1929,
Oh, he's here.
he arrived. He was summoned to the colony by Brother 12.
Summoned.
Summit.
Holy
Yeah, and he
smokes.
turned up with
Not invited, but summoned.
summoned. He arrived with $90,000 in cash, which
Jesus.
is roughly over $1 million in today's currency.
my
million billion.
God.
Burning a hole in his pocket.
Exactly. And he claimed to. So Brother 12 claimed to have known Painter in a past life. And basically, he claimed to be reincarnated and known everyone in past lives before, and was telling them about their past lives. And he basically squandered his entire fortune on Brother 12. All the money he made as
Top cock.
the Emperor of Feathers, he squandered. And
Emperor Feathers.
at the end of it all, he said, "I don't have a nickel." He got it all. That was the quote from him. by the way.
Wow.
Whoa.
So he then, but the thing that didn't stealing their money off them wasn't the thing that tipped over the
scale.
the scale for everyone in the colony. What happened
Right.
was he started having an extramarital affair.
Oh, that's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
And claimed it.
Reincarnation of an Egyptian god.
There's
That's
always
fine.
a point when it's a cult, and it's usually, I find cult leaders, they're usually men, and there's always comes a point where they're just like, yeah, the religion, and like, whatever, and namaste, and like, we're gonna do yoga together and stuff. And by the way, I need to fuck your wife. Like, there just always comes a point where they're just like, and also.
It's like over breakfast. It's like,
It's gotta
oh
be
yeah, like
super
this and this,
casual.
we're gonna do this, and oh, your wife,
yeah.
I have to fuck her.
Yeah, you can't anymore.
Yeah,
I am.
it's just gonna be me, but she's
Yeah.
still your wife.
She's still your wife.
Everything is the
yeah.
same. Everything.
Don't
is
get
the
me
same.
wrong, man.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I want no strings attached. Trust me.
So many women fell in love with him because he was clearly magnetic.
And wealthy.
Yeah, and including Myrtle Wells Baumgartner, the wife of a
Whoa,
New York
whoa,
doctor.
These
Whoa,
names
whoa,
are spectacular.
whoa,
Are you
whoa,
just
whoa.
making this shit
isn't
up
a
off the
real
top of your
story.
head?
That's my OnlyFans name.
No,
Myrtle Wells
Baumgartner.
No, isn't it
Baumgartner.
Baumgartner?
Baumgartner.
Baumgartner.
Isn't that the guy who jumped out of the balloon in space for Red Bull?
Baumgartner.
Felix
Yes.
Baumgartner.
Yeah, Felix Baumgartner.
There's,
yeah.
there's only two Baumgartners in
What
the
if
world.
he's a descendant?
Maybe?
I thought you were saying Baumgartner.
It sounds like
someone who gardens your
Gardner?
bums?
Yeah.
Baumgartner.
And I was like, that's a mucho gracias if you need a
Oh,
Baumgartner
that's
zinger.
boom-dum-tsh.
Yeah.
Well, she clearly had one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like out for her.
That was
I
good.
think the name is derived from people in Switzerland in the 1400s who would trim ass hair.
Yeah. Nice.
Yep.
So
because it's cold
John,
up there,
if
and
your
so
name is
you're really like, there's probably days at a time you're not even like taking pants off because it's
Yeah.
just so cold.
It's like the name Smith comes from a blacksmith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baumgartner comes from a
Swinnermer.
Baumgartner.
Swinnermer, my last name, comes from Swinehammer, which is the person who killed the pigs.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I don't want to know where my name comes from.
McNut.
I think mine came from people who lived near waters. I imagine it's probably something really boring. And they live near a stream. That's your name.
Maybe you're like watering the fields.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe.
right. You're the waterer.
I'm the water.
Yeah.
Waters.
So much better than Baumgartner.
You guys just had a well.
Which sort of well.
It was like,
those fancy well
look,
owners
we
with
got
the
one of
fresh
those
water.
wells.
You were the only one in the village who had a well.
And there's no cholera in it. So.
Yeah, exactly. No horrific death for you
Not
and your
yet.
family.
Yeah.
So one accent, don't you?
Yeah.
Do
Oh,
Australian. It's going to be the
Good
exact
eye,
same
mate.
accent, isn't it?
Good eye, mate.
Newfoundland.
yeah. You have a good Boston.
You have
Oh yeah,
Boston
Boston
accent?
accent. Yeah, my car. I'm trying to think. It's
My
so bad
khakis.
because I come
Is it
from a
car
place
keys
that
or
is
is it
notorious for
khakis?
accents.
Yeah.
Like I come from a place that has a very notorious
Cape
accent,
Breton?
and I can't really do it. I have to.
Cape Breton has a very specific
I
accent.
need like 3 beer.
Yeah.
and then I'm like it
And
comes
then you're
out.
like, it's right some good down here, hun. It's right
Like
some
I'll
good down
go
here.
home for a stint, and I'll come
You
back,
come back and you're a
you'll be
little-
like,
I'll be like, ooh, home too
there's
long.
just a little bit of a lilt. Like everything's is said a little faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have some words
If
too.
the accents were good, it would be less
Yeah.
funny.
I have some.
So I'm not gonna try and like propagate them.
Yeah, I have some like South Shore words that I say that I
Same.
try not to say around other people. So like house, like you live in a house,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or like there's a mouse in your house,
That is very South Shore.
or you like go out in a boat on the boat, but you like go out in a boat on a boat. That's like normal.
We never say boot.
What a sin!
We say boat, but we don't say boot. We
Yeah,
never say
we don't say
boot.
boot.
Never.
A boat.
But like what a sin!
Do you know why
That's
I
like
hear
very
Canadian?
Nova
What a
Scotian.
sin.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that because you're the person
gotta-
that
you gotta
actually
tisk
has an
beforehand.
accent relative to the
Listen.
table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you want to know more about Mrs. Baumgartner?
I certainly do.
Yeah, so
Myrtle,
she was married. She was married to a New York doctor, but she became
who was a bumguard.
yeah, exactly. But she became pregnant twice in an attempt to give birth to Brother XII's successor,
What?
and her dreams reveal
Hold
that they
on.
were
So he
lovers
was-
in ancient Egypt.
So Brother 12 and Myrtle were having an affair?
They were doing it.
Or was it completely copacetic because she's in this cult?
No. So she's in the cult. He's basically trying to have an heir through her.
Is the doctor there too, like her husband?
yeah.
Or
No
he's
idea.
in New York.
Maybe he delivered the babies. We don't know.
That'd be
But,
weird.
But he basically, her dreams told her they were lovers in ancient Egypt, and her mystical nature fused perfectly with his. And he declared that there was a higher purpose to their union.
Mystical nature.
Oh yeah, that's
Can
what
we
they
step
always
back?
say.
Magic sex. So
Yeah.
What a line.
That's, my mother warned me.
Yeah.
It's like, Grace, when you go out there into the world, you've got to be really careful because there's going to be men that come up to you and they're going to tell you that there's a higher purpose.
Yeah.
Of your mystical nature.
And all it's going to leave you is just a sad walk shame in the morning.
do you want to hear his quote?
Yes.
I do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's exactly what you're saying. So,
Reese's like, do you want to learn from me? Because I don't have to.
No, but what you're saying is, what you're saying is he said it in 1930 style. So
Please tell me.
you cannot judge this matter as though it were an ordinary personal delinquency. It is nothing of the kind. It is not self-gratification. It is self-immolation on the part of those who would give their bodies to be burned, that we may bear witness to the truth.
I love that. The way they always write it off is they're like, I hate this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get anything out of doing this. I don't like doing it.
God,
Yeah.
sex with other men's wives. Gross.
Like
Ugh.
as she's
I'm doing
writing
this for
him.
the greater
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
As she's
I'm
there,
not
she's like,
enjoying this.
he's like, trust me, I don't like any of this. And she's like, okay. This is a weird
And he's like a little to the
conversation.
left, Myrtle. A little to the left.
Yeah.
So everything started to deteriorate then,
Myrtle.
become more like a threatening cult and less like rich people spending their money on pointless crap.
Right. Is the government, do they care at all? Do
What?
any authority figures care?
No, because there's
Not
rich,
even like
there's
the
rich
church?
people doing it. So
So,
There you
because
go.
this started off kind of sounding like a retreat.
It
Like
did
a
sound like
thing
a retreat,
rich
yeah.
people do where
Yeah.
they like
Yeah.
become one with nature, but now it's sounding quite culty.
Well, so the Aquarian Foundation was legally dissolved in 1929, and he continued his work with followers who remained.
Does the
despite
Great Depression have
crisis.
something to do with the fact that
Maybe.
it fell?
Maybe.
Because
Not-
suddenly you got rich people who aren't rich anymore.
I think they left because he was just wanted to fuck all their wives
Okay.
and stole all the money off them.
The ladies are like, sorry, gotta
You can't
go.
fuck my wife in this climate, in this economy.
exactly. Not with the
If
stock market
times were
performing
better,
well.
I'd consider it. But
And as time passed, Brother 12 became increasingly dictatorial and paranoid, and he fortified the island.
With what?
Forts, I guess.
that's
That's what
rad.
I would
Do they still
fortify.
stand?
Oh my God, that's
I
a
don't
great
know. I
question.
don't know.
Yeah.
So he and then Brother 12 abandoned Mrs. Bumgardner for another person.
I fucking love that name so much.
A manipulative and sinister woman named Mabel Scotto.
He has
What are
no
these-
right to call someone manipulative.
Right, yeah,
I know.
seriously.
And she called herself Madam Zed and strode about the settlement.
What? That's amazing.
Rode around the island.
Hell yeah.
And she basically, he said, she is my eyes, my ears, my mouth. And Brother 12 declared to the colony members, whatever she says, you take it as to come from me. And so Madam Zed brutally enforced Brother 12's kind of demands, and everyone began to fear and despise her. And her and Brother 12 were inseparable, undergoing their own marriage ritual.
What were they doing to keep the people there? Like, did they?
They were trapped before they were
they
fortified.
didn't have money. Yeah, it
He'd
was a
taken all their money.
fort.
Yeah.
Oh, they took all their money and then
They were in the middle of nowhere on Vancouver Island, and they were living like it was supposed to be self-sufficient. So they took all their possessions. They were like, now you dig in the dirt to make food.
Because that's how you make food, Reese.
You went from a New York high-rise to digging in the dirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Digging in the dirt.
I used to trim assholes, and now I'm stuck here. So, one man had been imprisoned in a cellar on the northern end of Valdez Island, and he managed to escape.
Whoa.
Hold on.
You didn't mention prisoners.
Yeah.
Well, I said he
Seriously.
fortified it.
But you didn't say there was
You didn't say
cells
that they're
for
in
prisoners.
jail.
Like he started to imprison people who were like he didn't like.
Okay,
Remember, Madam Zed was going
fortified-
around being mean.
Obviously,
Whoa.
like Welsh fortified
Means
means something
different,
then
yeah.
different than
Absolutely.
like us fortified.
Yeah.
Well, like if you see
Not fortified with calcium.
what do you, yeah, if you fortify something, I'll show you now. Like
Like, I was envisioning he built a wall,
A wall
around it.
Yeah, I was just envisioning
Yeah.
like a wall.
That's kind of what I've pictured as
like
well.
like
this,
citadel, like a
Yeah.
like kind of like a
Yeah,
fort deal.
yeah.
Maybe some.
maybe a small
Like, I'm
moat.
not
Yeah.
totally shocked that he had someone in prison.
No.
It's just like, it's like, and a prisoner escaped. It's like,
What?
Whoa.
well, this is like when you say this is what a fort would look like in Wales. That's the castle that used to live. I used to
Yeah,
live near.
okay.
He made his island look like that.
No,
you
I'm just
live
saying,
near
though.
that?
Yeah, yes, it's
Jeez Louise.
a cool castle. It's
Europe is so
Castle.
cool.
I feel like
It's
Don't forget he escaped Wales.
he escaped
Yeah.
Wales.
you see that
Right,
see that
so-
tower there? It leans at a further gradient than the Leaning Tower of Pisa, but no one gives a
Really?
shit about it.
I love.
This is in Wales.
I thought you were gonna be like, that's where I escaped from, and I was like, and that's why
exactly.
you're
That's
that's why
where
you're
I
called
lived, yeah.
Waters.
But like when you
Exactly.
say
You're
fort,
right
to me
by
that's
the
a fort. So you go, it'd be easy
Right.
to trap people in that.
Yeah, true.
So they escaped, and they went and reported the circumstances to the British Columbian Provincial Police, who investigated
Wow.
but took no further action.
This would make a fucking amazing movie.
It would.
Like, Jesus, seriously.
So, but even though they reported him, nothing happened, and conditions deteriorated. Brother 12's core group of disciples revolted and filed legal actions against him to recover their money. And in a violent reaction, he destroyed the colony, smashing its buildings, farm equipment, and scuttling his flagship, the sailboat Lady Royale.
With what? Like his hand?
I guess with the power
He just
of.
like
Don't forget, he's a reincarnation of an Egyptian god.
right. I
Yeah,
forgot.
yeah, yeah.
I totally
Like a
forgot. Makes
locusts.
sense.
I love that
Sandstorm.
in the movie of this story, there's like the action route where you would have just like him like slow-mo smashing stuff, and it's like really dramatic music and whatever. But then there's also like the comedy side where it would be totally someone looking out a window and it's just a grown man having a fit, just trying to break down a door, just like, ugh.
In his head, he's like the Incredible Hulk, but in reality, it's just a child having a
I'm
tantrum.
picturing
What's brother doing?
I'm picturing it very what's that? Heath Ledger, Knight's Tale.
I love
yeah,
Knight's Tale. I was literally watching it last night.
I love
Such
that
a good movie.
I saw it.
So
It's
good.
every single scene is like a little short film.
Yes.
You know,
it's very like Princess Bridey, like
I
in
love
that
it.
way.
Yeah,
I just-
where
it's in a category of movies that I like to do. Like it's a really bad movie that for some strange reason is incredibly entertaining to watch.
it's just a culty fan favorite. Like it's just
Yeah.
it doesn't do anything right, and therefore it doesn't do anything wrong.
Exactly. That's a
so
great way of putting
it's,
it.
It's
Yeah.
such a great
It's
movie.
so
but that's
fun.
what I'm imagining. I'm imagining like the townspeople doing "We Will Rock You," and he's just like. Duh, duh, duh.
What's your favorite scene in the
Yeah.
movie? I never get to talk to anybody about A Knight's Tale.
Oh my gosh, there's
There's so many, aren't there?
so
There's-
many.
I think is okay.
I will say, okay.
Sorry.
I will say
You need to leave, Reese.
that I love the character that I love the most is
Chaucer.
yes,
Yeah.
100%.
And when they first meet Chaucer, when
yes,
he's naked.
when
That's-
it's so funny.
Is this a
It's-
podcast about A Knight's Tale?
Yep.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
A Knight's Tale.
Oh,
Yeah.
Telltale.
Yeah.
That's good.
But I think the first like jousting match
Oh,
when
yeah.
he
that-
when
yeah,
he
yeah.
like does poorly, and then like the girl blacksmith has to come in and be
Oh,
like,
that's so good. Yeah.
"Let me fix you up." Yeah.
A friend of mine has a podcast.
No, she comes in later.
Does she
Back to
come
A
in
Knight's
much
Tale.
later?
They come to her. They come to her
Should we have a
first.
They go
separate
to her.
conversation?
Go to
I
her,
love
right?
to hear
Yeah.
whatever
She's
your
like-
friend's
So-
podcast is
So
about.
my,
Yeah.
my friend's podcast is called A Beef and Dairy Network Podcast, and he made up a fake podcast that he advertises on his podcast called Jumanjaniacs.
I love that.
And every episode they review Jumanji every week.
Oh
The
yes.
same film over and over and
the
over
original
again.
or the new one?
The original.
Okay.
I love that. My
That's even
favorite
better.
is
I'm
like,
glad Jesse and I stopped having our conversation because this is much better.
Anyway,
I do love there's a podcast that I really like where he just like pretends that he's sponsored by Doritos. And he's like, this week brought to you by the delicious taste of Doritos.
do you want to talk about what happened to Madam Zed and
I
Brother
do.
12?
Yeah.
So they
don't have a cult in an island anymore.
and they scuttled their ship, but luckily they had a private tugboat because we all have
Theodore.
Theodore.
Yeah, they escaped in Theodore. And,
He's
uh,
always watching.
and rather than appear in court, by 1932 they'd fled to Europe, having taken a large amount of gold with them. And
Right,
he's
yeah.
reported to have died in Switzerland on the 7th of November 1934, although he may have fabricated his death. As apparently there was an eyewitness testimony that he had met his lawyer in San Francisco after his death. His son, the lawyer's son, validated that he'd spotted him.
And he was born in the 1870s.
Yes.
So he's like
He was
60s.
60s.
old
Like
man.
he was doing this cult thing in the twilight years of
Yeah.
his life.
So apparently, in an elaborate
Banging New York doctors' wives.
Exactly.
Deep into his 50s.
exactly, he's just doing what he wanted.
Just like how that sentence, you kind of stitched that together, banging doctors' wives deep into his 50s.
Yeah. Don't worry.
This story continues today because people believe that he left gold behind on those islands.
Oh, it's like their Oak Island.
So-
Okay, right.
So,
At least there's a legit reason why there could be gold there.
right.
Because he made everybody trade in their stuff.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
let's go. Let's freaking go
Yeah.
together.
When
Rent a
COVID
van.
is
It'll be
like
a trip.
vaccinated against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's where I'm going.
what would happen
You're going
is,
straight, like, you get the night meal?
Straight
to the island, yeah.
Yeah.
but what would happen
No one
is
will see it coming.
people would, when they arrived, he would do a nocturnal ritual. And he would fill like mason jars with gold coins and seal them
Jesus.
with wax, and then they would be they would put them in a cedar box with rope handles. And apparently, he had like 43 jars of gold coins.
Holy shit.
But he would move them around on the island, so
I
nobody
will
knew where they were.
say, for a cult, the cultiest container is definitely a Freemason jar.
It is.
100%.
Oh, that's,
Zap.
that's good.
That's what
Thank
the
you.
Kool-Aid
That's
was
good.
in.
Well done, well
I
done.
can leave.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That was a joke.
And
Yeah,
it was
that's
funny.
It was good.
The
Throwback
best
to.
way to react to a joke is not to laugh, but to point and tell them that it was
Yeah.
humorous. That's
Yes.
So
my mother's friend Kathleen would often, whenever my mother would tell a joke, she would just turn and stare at her blankly and like, that's hilarious.
Such a serious
so
matter.
off-putting.
It's
It's
like,
like-
is it?
So
imagine
I
at the
feel like
front.
I've offended a lot
we
of
did
people.
this. We did this the last time you guys were on. So I missed a joke.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh, that was a joke, and it was funny." And you guys thought it was really hilarious. But it's become a bit of a bit on our show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we say it all the time
Oh.
now.
Yeah.
Do you know what the joke was? Do you remember? We were talking about John A. McDonald, and you said, "Do you know what happened to his brother?" And Reese was like, "Ronald."
Oh.
And we both laughed, and you were like, "No, his name's not Ronald." Oh, that was a joke.
And it was funny.
He invented the Happy Meal.
Yeah, it's like a successful restaurateur. You can go check out the Grey Owl episode of Minute Women Podcast.
You sure should. So what are they doing?
So they escaped. He
Yeah.
may have died
He
in
may have
Switzerland. He may
died.
not have.
May not.
But what happened is now the island is full. The islands, they were dismantled cabins. There were lagoons, caves. So
Wow.
people go there and look for the gold. And one searcher.
Turn this into a theme park.
I know. I don't know what it's like. I don't know whether it's probably mansions there now, I imagine.
Yeah, I have to believe it's been developed.
Yeah,
If it's
right.
Vancouver Island, right?
Exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
So I think
Where
that-
Vancouver City is not, but Victoria is.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
weird. It's confusing.
Yeah, I don't know.
So one searcher ripped up a false floor in one of the colony's ruined buildings, and convincing there was gold. And he found a loose roll of tar paper. And apparently, when he opened it, when he opened it up, it said, "For fools and traitors, nothing."
That's awesome.
That's
Gotcha,
fantastic.
bitch.
Exactly. So,
That would have been better.
The
I would have just said,
ultimate
gotcha,
punk.
bitch.
Early 20th century of gotcha, bitch. For fools only.
for fools, nothing.
Nothing.
So and that's the end of the story. So we don't know if he died.
So we
and
don't know if he
and
actually
we don't know
died.
if there's still gold hanging around.
Do we know what happened to Madame Zed? Like,
She
Yeah.
vanished to
she's
Europe with him as well.
disappeared as well.
Wow. That's a hell of a fucking story, Reese.
Yeah.
I don't know how you keep finding this shit over and over
I
again.
just make it up. I'm joking.
So, like,
This was completely
I love how
fabricated.
quickly you said that. I'm joking.
make-
this
I
is
just make
this
it up.
is
I'm
one of the
joking.
greatest. This is one of the greatest stories you have told, and like. I'm glad that you told it, but like today for our own podcast with just you and me, you told us a story of Justin Bieber shaking hands with Harper. That was the whole story.
That was a good story. It was a good story.
Are you saying that you're like jealous that he saves
very
good stories
jealous,
for
yes.
guests?
The reason I saved it for bonus content is because it's not political. It's
There
more
we go.
is a cool story from history.
But isn't
Okay.
everything political?
Gold jars.
Gold.
Also,
Mason jars.
not a big deal, but here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, actually in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, I touched Justin Bieber's hand. So, like,
Did you?
Oh my
Am I
god.
Stephen
Now you've got the
Harper?
pox.
How buttery
Yeah,
was
that's
it?
how that works.
He was a child. It was when he didn't even
Oh,
have.
so super buttery.
Oh yeah, he only had
Nice.
like the song "Baby." Like he had
Nice.
nothing else. Like he was a child with a high voice. He sang a bunch of covers at a summer rush.
You're not a believer, are you?
Oh God, no.
Oh, thank God.
No.
Okay.
Who wants to start a cult?
Me. Well, wait, we can't all start cults because then,
Right,
well,
someone
unless
has to be the
we're
leader.
gonna like collectively
Well,
start
Reese
it,
would be the
but
leader.
then we're gonna stab each other in the
Could
back.
start a cult
Yeah.
network if we all launch our own cults.
If we each started a cult, what would its vibe be? Like, what kind of cult are we thinking?
That's a great
'Cause
question.
I'm thinking like orange robes, flowers. Like, I want to go there. I
Like
want to do like
Midsummer.
full midsummer
Yeah.
cult.
That was a horrifying movie.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Oh
I
my
can't
God.
watch scary films. I watched the
Yeah.
trailer and I was like,
You
too
haven't
much.
seen the movie?
I can't watch scary
It's
movies.
so
We don't
good.
do
It's so
scary
good.
movies.
I can't
It's
do
not
scary
scary.
No, it
You
is.
just said it's the most terrifying
No,
film you've ever seen.
it's horrifying. It's not scary.
Oh, big difference.
No, there is. Trust me. It's not. It's
think
not like
you
it's
kinda
not like
split it
things
hairs there,
creeping
Jesse.
out at you and things jumping out at you. There's none of that.
It's just like
It's
a
in,
creep.
it's in bright light, which is very hard to
It's-
make horror in bright light.
All like 99% of the entire film is in bright light, and you just gotta watch it. It's so good.
Okay,
It's-
maybe I'll think about it. I'll
Yeah.
think
We're
about
not
it so
gonna
I can
watch
get
it.
cult
We'll
inspiration.
talk amongst ourselves and we'll decide.
I think a cult where people are like activated like Manchurian candidates when you need them. Ooh, that would be a good cult.
Ooh, I like that.
So it's very low
Yeah.
key, and then one day you just go on the radio and like go, when they like program the
Like
winter
brainwashing.
soldier, they're like aubergine, potato,
I'd be
Fiat
like,
Punto.
Aubergine. What is aubergine?
I'd be into
Eggplant.
that. Like, I
Eggplant, yeah.
really feel
That's how
like I'd
we'd-
be into that.
And
Like,
then-
I
and
would
then-
join your call.
And then their eyes
All right,
roll in the
you're
back of
one.
their heads, and they're like, "Yes, that would be
That's
it."
how they would narrow down the list of suspects who started it, though,
Right.
because you would use aubergine instead of eggplant.
That's true.
And so they'd be like, all right, then he's from the British Isles. And then they'd like figure it out from there.
You know, I follow an
They know.
Instagrammer who is called. It's just called Insta. I forget what his name is. It's just Raisin Bran. That's all it is. It's just photos of Raisin Bran, and I think that sounds like a good cult to me. Just,
Raisin Bran
Yeah.
cult.
just Raisin Bran cult. Just I know you wouldn't join it.
No,
Grace,
I
at
don't
all.
like
I wouldn't join it.
Too much
Oh, no.
raisin.
I got a great idea for a
The
cult.
brand
Yeah.
is fine.
Randomly pick someone you've never met who just lives a normal life, and then form a cult around them without them knowing. And worship them from a
Yeah.
distance.
Pick someone to become
And
your
then,
god.
and then 2
That's
years
great.
later, once you've got all these like this legion of people who like worship him and have shrines in their homes, and then
Yeah.
reveal yourselves to them and just see how they react.
That's
It's
called a
brilliant.
Their
stalker.
lives.
That's
Yeah,
called
that's-
a stalker.
Exactly. It's not quite a cult.
Leave me alone! I don't want to be your god.
The longest con.
I hope you've enjoyed learning about Brother 12.
I did.
Oh my
Super
god.
tall. No idea. Never knew.
And
Madam
the Top
Zed.
Cock and Madam Zed.
Top cock. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Myrtle.
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 Bum.
Well, she's
Gardner.
Madam Zed, right?
No,
Or no. Sorry,
no.
that's
He
the
ditched
lady.
the bum gardener.
Did those kids live?
Oh, yeah,
I guess so.
babies.
Because
I
it
don't
kind
know.
of sounded like she tried to give him an heir, and like
Yeah, I think-
it didn't pan out.
And
And
then
so he
everyone
wasn't
turned-
into her.
No, exactly. And yeah, it just, he sounds like the kind of person who just kept moving on to like someone new would come around and she'd be like,
Yeah.
hey,
New
I can have my
shiny
ear with
toy.
you now. And, But it wasn't about sex or pleasure. It was about, of
course not.
you know,
It's about
Power.
it's a higher power.
Egyptian
Right,
deities.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was about getting in touch with a higher power. So-
I loved
Did you guys know people ate mummies when they found
No.
them? Yeah.
What? Gross.
No, it's true. Well,
Nice.
Another story, but like, yeah, when the Europeans found mummies,
Why?
they would like grind it up into a powder. That's why there's so few of them.
Why?
They would grind them up into a powder, and either it would be used as pigment and paint. There was like a paint that's the most expensive paint
Mummy
in the
brown.
world, mummy brown, and it would be used. Yeah, no, literally,
Was it called mummy
or
brown?
Egyptian brown, I think. Egyptian brown.
Just to tone it back a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought
and
you were
then
going to say,
they would also eat it.
I thought you were going to say it's like gas
That's
station
amazing.
jerky.
Not quite. No, they
It
were
looks like
refined
gas station
about
jerky.
it. Yeah. No, it was British, so they're like, how can we put it in tea though? So like, put it into a powder, put that
like-
in the hot water.
Charles Darwin
Corpse
used to
dust.
study animals and eat them and write what they tasted
Yes. Yeah. He
Yeah.
would like the whole Charles Darwin like had a society that was like, but let's eat the monkeys. But what tastes the best?
That's
And then
really
they have,
random. Yeah,
they
yeah.
have like in-depth minutes from that society
Yeah.
of like, well, the pelican of whatever island was quite good.
like. The aftertaste of a giant panda
Rich
is
people
somewhat
are just
supreme.
bored. They're just bored.
Did you say British people or rich people?
Rich people.
Both. Same thing.
Both, but rich people especially are just
Rich people
bored.
are so bored.
So
Yeah.
where can our
Reese came to
listeners
Canada
find
just because he was bored. That's all it was, yeah.
Where can our listeners find you?
You can find the Minute Women on our social media channels. So on Instagram, we are at Minute Women Podcast, and the same on Facebook. You can find us there. Follow along with our many adventures. And then you can also find us on Twitter at The Minute Women. And also our website. So we have a website that has all of our episodes, all of the source material that Grace uses to research for the episodes, and some bios on us if you just want to know more about Grace and I. If
Yeah.
you want to join our cult, you can find out more about us there.
Join the Minute Women cult.
And-
Also on all major
Yeah.
podcast platforms. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Yeah.
Google Podcasts, whatever your preference is, you can find us.
That was comprehensive and
Short and sweet. Yeah,
just
it was almost like it was practiced. It was,
yeah.
We're about a year into this game, so
You know, we're kind of a big deal.
we've been around the block. We're old and haggard podcasters at this point.
Yeah. We're not.
didn't wanna say
we're
anything, but
millennials,
yeah.
so we're like, old
Yeah.
according to
I
all
am
those.
a millennial.
Yeah.
It's despite
You
all the
are.
people that tell me I'm a Gen Z.
I have never told you that.
It's not you.
I'm a Xennial.
I
You're
don't even know what
X,
I am.
Gen X?
No, I'm in between millennial and Gen X. So
Oh, I see.
I grew up without social media and technology. I
Yeah,
grew
me
up with an
too.
analog childhood, but then I had my adolescence was full of MySpace and
Right.
MSN.
Yeah, me too,
So I
actually.
fall in between the cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Yay.
Well, that's fun.
Thanks, Reese.
Hey, thanks for having us on.
No problem at all.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you soon.
Yes.
Soon, yes.